car's name is Donna, and she's been begging me to turn off the traction control, but I don't want to ruin my interior when I inevitably spooge on the Alcantara. Hey everybody, it's the Tactical Hippie back again. I just wanted to say thanks for watching the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the 2023 manual transmission Supra and a few things that you need to know before you purchase it. I'm not going to be talking about the wind buffeting problem, but I actually kind of just talked about the wind buffeting problem, but we are going to talk about the worst thing about the 2023 manual transmission Supra, so be sure to watch till the end. So if you're considering buying a 2023 manual transmission Supra or upgrading from an automatic Supra to the manual, here's a couple of 5 things that you need to know, and we'll jump right in. Number one is the cup holders. They put them right in the center where your elbow naturally wants to be. It's not that bad. Your elbow kind of goes off to the side, and I like to put my wrist over the top of the gear shifter when I'm sitting there at the light looking like a badass, when I'm riding in 6th. So it doesn't bother me as much, but I feel like with the redesign of the center console that they had to go through to accommodate the manual transmission, they should have redesigned the cup holders knowing that you're going to want to put your elbow there. I feel like that's one of the biggest misdesign cues in the new 2023 manual transmission Supra. Number 2 is the Supra is slower than the automatic Supra. As you guys know, with the 2021 through 2022 automatic Supras, it's an 8-speed manual. It goes to 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds. The manual transmission, if you're the best driver on good conditions, will probably get you to 60 at about 4.2 seconds. So that's definitely a big difference there. Well, not really, it's a split second, but I think everyone would agree, and anyone who has the manual transmission Supra can leave it in the comments below. It's just a visceral feeling, and I understand everybody's like, oh, well, I don't need to be engaged with the car. I still get engaged with the car with the automatic transmission. I understand, and I'm gonna probably bet that most of the people who, talk shit about engaging with the car through a manual transmission had probably never driven a manual transmission. It really is a different animal altogether to have the third pedal and row through the gears with your right arm and have to put it in neutral and and slam it when you really want to go fast, and and nice gentle shifts when you just want to. It's different, and I think it's probably more fun, and I might get a little bit of hate in the comments about that, but yeah, manual transmissions are more fun. Number 3 is, at least on the A91 version, it's Alcantara on the shift knob. Now, I've never had a car with Alcantara, and I have heard that it picks up oil from your hands pretty easily and will wear out pretty quickly. It seems fairly thin on the shift knob, but it does feel very high quality and soft and nice. I think I would have preferred to have the leather on the A90 manual transmission. I just don't think that it's worth the feeling of the Alcantara if it's going to wear out a little bit faster. So for the first time in my life, I'm going to follow in my Pugram steps and a bunch of other famous people's steps and wear driving gloves from time to time. Mostly when I'm after I eat a Five Guys burger and I got greasy fingertips. You know, if you don't have to pee, are you going to go wash your hands after you eat your burger before you get back into your car? Leave it in the comments below. But anyway, so yeah, I think I would have preferred the leather from the A90 edition. I think it's probably going to last a little bit longer. But yeah, it's got Alcantara on the shift knob, which is a suede-like material, and it's pretty fancy as far as it's concerned, but I think it's going to wear out. It does pick up fuzz a little bit easier probably, and I'm a very fuzzy person, so you could probably bet that I'm going to have, you know, a fuzzy steering thing.
Oh my God, what is that?
Number 4 is the feeling of the clutch and the feeling of the shifter itself. I feel like a lot of people talk about the manual transmission, they talk about the differences, but they don't talk about the feeling of the shifter. If you're somebody who's been driving a manual transmission, you'll have like a nice, clean feeling of metal when you go from first to second gear. It's like a you know, it's like a little gate. You know, you take it out of front, and then there's a little loose spot, and then, you know, you guys know. In this specific vehicle, it's hard to describe. Maybe I'll show you a diagram on the screen, but basically, here's first and second. In that metal opening where your gear goes, it feels like there's rubber. There's rubber lining that metal and lining that gate between the gears. So you got rubber here, like a gasket almost, that sticks out a little bit where the metal is. So what you get is this like mechanical feel, but also you're like, it's very kind of mushy feeling compared to a normal, like a Nissan manual transmission. So if you're coming from something that is a manual transmission and you're going into this one, be prepared for BMW's kind of the way they make their shifter feel. It's got like rubber gaskets on the inside of the gates. That's the best way I could describe it. Some of you guys will be able to tell me in the comments below exactly what that is and why I'm feeling that. The other thing, this is a two-parter, and that is the clutch feels so smooth, and it has such a forgiving friction zone. I feel like, and you know, sue me for this, but I feel like this is a great card for somebody to learn how to drive a manual transmission on. You might think I'm crazy about that, but it's a very forgiving manual transmission. The clutch friction zone is probably like this wide, but it's so buttery smooth compared to the junk that I've been driving. And I gotta give it up for that A91 manual transmission clutch. It just feels so smooth and light and buttery, and has such engaged feeling when you're feeling the rumble in your hand from that gear shifter, and you're feeling the engine want you to just dump the clutch and freaking take off. That's exactly what this car makes you want to do. This thing wants you to go, and that clutch is so good, it just makes you feel like you need to drive it fast everywhere you go. Number 5, and the worst thing about the 2023 Toyota manual transmission Supra, is the reverse position. A lot of you guys are immediately gonna bitch at me because you've been driving BMW. So we got the BMW hot boys who already have their reverse on the left, and then we got a lot of other European cars that have the reverse on the left. If you've been driving a Nissan and you've had your reverse past 6th gear and then past the gate and then down, you might not like where the reverse is on the 2023 manual transmission Supra. So for all you stick shifters out there, I've been driving my stick shift since 2010. So I've got the last 12 years driving stick, and my reverse has been over on the right. And how many of you can relate, if you've actually been driving a stick, is that if you pull up to a light and you're sitting there and you're looking at your phone and you're sitting in neutral and the light turns green but you don't see it, and so you got people behind you who are wanting to go honking your horn, and you look up real quick and you realize it and you slap that sucker all the way over to the left and it doesn't go in reverse. It hits a wall, and then you can jam it into first and take off real quick because you feel bad about the people behind you. So, in the 2023 manual transmission Supra, if you get too excited, you will pass that gate and put it reverse. And if you're too excited, you're gonna let out the clutch and reverse into the person behind you who's trying to inch up and go because the light has turned green. So, the worst thing about the 2023 manual transmission Supra, in my humble opinion, is that the reverse is on the left-hand side. It has already happened to me once, only once, but I've gotten used to it, I feel like. And it's not hard to put it in reverse, and it is a stopping point, yes. But again, you're excited, you know, and if you're not used to that, I feel like it's something that people need to talk about, because, you know, what are you thinking putting it over there in the first place? Past sixth, you know, I feel like is better. Or even, you know, I know some of you guys are gonna hate this, but even if you had to like have a little fucking button to lock it out, your manual lockout, whatever, I don't know. But I'm just saying, the worst part about the 2023 manual transmission Supra is that the reverse is on the left. Sue me.
One thing I'd like to say before we end today's video is that because of everyone's massive outrage and badgering of Toyota, they listened. I'm not going to pretend like I've been a Toyota fanboy my entire life. Truth be told, I love Nissans. My family has had at least 6 Z cars, and I think there's a strong chance I'd be driving a new Z if they were available and Nissan dealerships weren't so greedy. Toyota dealerships seem to be much more honest and willing to sell at MSRP. Toyota also went to the drawing board and obviously put time and money into making the manual transmission that people asked for. It took me a long time to warm up to this car. In Forza, I told my brother I didn't like it, but once I really started to consider my options for a replacement car and truly started thinking of the Supra as something that I could own, I started to grow enamored. Now that I understand that BMW provided an outstanding foundation for this car and that Toyota went through every single bolt in order to make sure it lives up to their reputation for reliability, I know that it's the best of both worlds. Legendary German engineering and approved by Japan. So if you think this car looks awesome and the manual transmission really puts it over the top for you, go buy one. Reward Toyota for making their fans happy. Let's buy every single one of these cars, and I mean, even go trade in your current Supra just to get the manual. Let's all show them how much you actually appreciate them listening to their customers. I think Zs are really cool, but after sinking my foot into the smooth clutch, and once I felt the back end of this car hunker down and scare the shit out of me, I can say without hesitation that I'm in love with Donna and my 2023 GR Supra manual transmission. And I can't wait for many more videos. Thanks for watching my channel. Like and subscribe for weekly videos, and make sure and drive safe.